the state faces two fundamental choices. One is whether we're going to try to figure out a pathway back by recreating sort of the old factory-based economy, or we're going to try to build sort of the new knowledge-based economy. But the second choice is whether we're going to, what I describe as managed decline. We've got fewer resources, so we just do less. Or we're going to try to reverse the decline so that we start to grow again. The only way we're going to start to grow again is if we make changes and adjust to these new realities. And one of the new realities is that if you don't have central cities that work, you're going to be one of the poorest places in the country. None of us want to be one of those places. So it really means that if you have a growth agenda, central cities have got to be part of it. It does mean some sacrifice. It means we're probably going to have to raise revenue more than we would have to raise otherwise. It means we're going to have to cut in other areas more than we would have to do otherwise in order to make the kind of investments that will allow us to grow again. So it's interesting, the futurists got it wrong. Their assumption was that because work is increasingly digital and can be done any place, it would be. Turns out the exact opposite is happening, not just in the United States, but across the planet, which is the growing part of the global economy, the American economy, which is knowledge-based. Those enterprises and college graduates are increasingly concentrating in big metros. So for a state to have a successful economy, its big metros have to be even more successful. And a core characteristic of successful big metros is that they have a vibrant central city. Once you understand central cities matter, you've got to create quality of place. You're going to have to invest in sort of walkable, high-density, mixed-use neighborhoods. You're going to have to invest in transit. You have to invest in arts and culture, which matter in outdoor recreation. And a vibrant central city that particularly is attractive to mobile and particularly mobile young talent. So ultimately, a lesson that we have to learn in Michigan, which we're having a lot of difficulty with, is that sort of vibrant central cities are not part of the past, they're part of the future, that you cannot have a successful state economy unless Detroit works, Grand Rapids works, Lansing works, Flint works. I mean, the central cities matter because of this young talent concentrating there. So we surprised ourselves when we did this work that we ended up concluding that culture, and this is culture in the meaning, attitudes, and beliefs, not arts and culture, that culture trumps policy. I think most of us went into this thinking, if you get policy A, B, and C, everything will be terrific. We ended up, when we looked at the places doing well, saying their core characteristic is not common policy, it's common culture. And the three things about the culture that were common in these places that are successful is, first, they highly value learning. We still live in a state where a majority of parents think their kids can do well economically in the future without post-secondary education. It's deeply ingrained in our DNA because it worked so well for us in the last century. So learning is one. An entrepreneurial spirit is second. It's people taking responsibility for their own economic success, although we need the narrow definition of entrepreneurship as well, which is more businesses, but it's broader than that. And third is this whole notion of being welcoming to all, that basically because talent's driving economy and talent's mobile, and talent comes in all of the human variations. If you don't feel welcome, you're not coming. So to us, those are the core characteristics. It's places that highly value learning and entrepreneurial spirit and being welcoming to all. And Michigan's having trouble with all three. So to us, we've got to work through those three transitions. If we do, we got a real good chance of making it successful. If we don't, we're going to continue to decline.